It would have worked a lot better if I had everybody up. What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you for tuning in to the Passion and Precision podcast. As you can see, it's a little different now. You got Key, always in the building. You already see the name there. How you doing tonight, Key?
I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be up here. Us collabing together. Why not put great minds together? So hey, I'm all for it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, two great minds and me. We'll work on that. But right here in the middle, got Jory. You guys already know. Always here. Bella's also around in the area.
She's licking
Jory,
my
how are you doing
hand.
tonight? Oh, you're not unhinged J Dub tonight.
I might get there.
Okay.
We might get there. But she's licking my hand. So she's right here.
Yeah.
But
Always
I'm
around.
doing all right. Excited to see what, like you said, what we get when three great minds put their heads together.
Exactly. And look, we have a lot to get into. We're gonna touch on some NBA, touch on some NFL, obviously. We got picks, got all that. So get ready, enjoy yourself. Actually, I should let me do this. Give you the visual to go with it. Table of contents we have going on tonight. Uh, actually, you know what? Let's start with Kawhi and the Clippers situation because this one is definitely going to be interesting. Something that everybody's going to be watching because it's been a while since the NBA has had to deal with this, where we're now looking at fraudulence with contracts, money, passing hands and everything like that. So I guess where do you stand with the situation? How big of a maybe black eye would you say this could be for the NBA? How much I guess how much should the Clippers and Kawhi be in trouble if I guess all this is true? Let's start with you, Keith.
This whole thing is crazy to me. You got Kawhi Leonard, who, when is healthy, is one of the best players. On pretty much on the Clippers team. Best player in the NBA. So he's had this chronic knee issue since college. They already knew what his injury was going to be. So now you decide, okay, while your load management is injured, let's go pay you some money off the books and just create some said company and don't think that the NBA is going to find out. Well, we didn't know until someone else was late about it. How are you doing dirty stuff and being late?
That's my thing exactly.
Make
Like,
that make
no.
sense. Make it make sense, y'all. Like that's like you robbing a bank and the getaway driver is late getting to you.
Right.
You sitting there like where is he? So apparently, they had the business that was like 2 point something million, and then come to find out 2 days or 10 days later, another 1.7 was sent.
Mm-hmm.
Something don't sit right with me in East in the Middle East. Something ain't right. So I don't know if Adam Silver's going to investigate some more. The NBA is going to investigate some more. Is the Clippers going to really, really get in trouble with their owner, him and Steve Ballmer? I don't know what's going to happen, but all this is ridiculous. Can you imagine if they decide, you know what, every trade and transaction y'all did is null and void, everybody go back to however, that would be awesome because PG can go. Sorry, I had to put it out there. But that'll be awesome. But this whole thing is a big mess. Just a big mess.
Yeah, I think. Well, I'll get you in here in a second, Jory. But it's like that's the crazy part is now trying to think of what kind of punishment should the league like hand down to the Clippers because this is nuts of what's going on. But yeah, Jory, how are you feeling about it?
This is what you get when you cheat
Mm-hmm.
and you try to be manipulative. And for Steve Ballmer to sit here and say, I didn't know, I'm like, you didn't get, excuse me, you didn't get to being a billionaire by being an idiot. You know to double and triple check your courts, your these things that you're investing your money into. You know better than that. I'm broke and I know to do that.
Yeah.
The company was actively firing people while they're paying Kawhi 1 point something million dollars. Something's not adding up. And
Yeah.
the fact that you're late when you're being dirty.
Clearly, this is somebody's first time doing this.
They was like, oh no. They got nervous. They was like, wait a
9
minute.
days late, not 24 hours. That's a grace period.
Mhm.
9 days late, and you're doing dirty stuff. Did you not think this was gonna be caught?
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers are stupid, and the league was right to lawyer up because this type of fraudulence cannot go unpunished.
Yeah.
Something. I think something's like drastic is going to happen. Either Kawhi's going to take some fault for it too, because you knew where this money was coming from. I'm sure they had to tell you something for you not. Of course, you're not going to turn it down either. So Kawhi needs to be at fault for it because he took it and he knew. Ballmer needs to be accountable too, and then crack down. Whether they get no draft picks, hefty fines, nobody can trade. Something has to happen because if Adam Silver let this slide, he's soft. SAWFT soft. Okay,
They
if
need to
he
know
lets this slide,
they can rip that contract. Don't the NBA have the power to veto contracts and rip up contracts? Kawhi should be a free agent.
force that man to retire.
Kawhi does kind of seem like the type where if they came down like really heavy on him, that he probably would just walk away and be like, "Yeah, I'm good." And I think
But
what
at the
also
same
makes
time,
this,
you knew.
yeah,
He knew.
yeah. But it's like
So
what
he
also
has
makes it
nobody
seem
to blame but himself.
exactly. I don't like what Adam Silver's doing, anyways. I'm sure that's about the like half court heave thing, which whatever.
I guess that's a stupid rule too. I guess.
It's one of those that's unnecessary, but players actually think about that and then will just hold the ball. And it's like, you can't take one shot at the risk of your, shooting percentage dipping a little bit. Like, I don't get it, man. These players, they think about way too much, and, their mind is on the wrong stuff. But I think the funny part is, Silver being asked about the company and saying, like, I never even knew it existed. Like, that doesn't look good. And the fact that the league hired a law firm and everything, like, I feel like Silver's probably going to do something. Now, like you were saying, Key, it's what do you do with Kawhi, which I think it's probably easy, finding him or whatever, suspending him. I think Ballmer and the Clippers, it gets a little tricky because the obvious thing would be like, we'll just take away some first round picks and call it a day. Clippers don't really have that many of them.
Right.
So do you restrict maybe what they can do free agency wise, like taking away exemptions and stuff like that? That's where I wonder, does the league go that route? And maybe they throw on some first round picks in the future and make this like something that they feel for years to come. But I would not be mad at that because you got to set an example.
That exactly, and that's something Adam Silver hasn't done in the NBA in a couple years. The whole thing of Miles Bridges and everything else, and Kevin Porter he kicked out, but the Miles Bridges thing, pleading a no contest is pretty much saying I'm guilty. It's just looking like it's a lesser thing. No, like he was guilty, and you bring this man back. What about the integrity? What about the integrity of the NBA?
That's what I was about to go there. Doesn't this kind of ruin the integrity of the NBA and the contracts and everything? So if that's what we're thinking, if I'm Adam Silver and I'm glad I'm lawyering up, what they did to the previous Clippers owner, do the exact same thing with Ballmer.
Donald Sterling got the book and some.
Mm-hmm.
Throw the book down, make him sell the team.
He was underneath the jail cell. He was underneath.
Right.
Because you're not going to sit here and play everybody like you're stupid, like you didn't know. And the Clippers had a post that tagged the aspiration company. If you click that at, it's some random idiot. So what are we talking about here?
That's
Yeah.
why. That is why. All this is just why. It's mind blown. It's actually idiot. It's actually people that's dumb out there to even do that.
Yeah.
At least if you're gonna tag the damn company, have some type of social media page set up associated to it with your stupid selves. What kind of levels of smooth brain activity is this? This is levels of stupidity. If you're gonna do dumb stuff, do it smartly.
Yeah.
Make it look, at least make it look
At
legit.
least make it look like you tried.
Like I said, it's like a tree planting company. You could have put some random image of some open field, throw some trees in there, and been like, "Look at our latest project."
Stories together. You know how many apps is out here to make that stuff sound like it's legit and presentable.
Exactly.
Thank you, Colonel. But the thing, I just can't stand blatant stupidity.
Yeah.
It's blatant. How are you going to tag a company that really doesn't exist because they fire people to save their paychecks to go pay Kawhi Ooh, I don't like that.
That's another. Oh my God.
Playing with people. Y'all playing with people's livelihoods to go pay Rich Paul.
Yep.
To pay a millionaire.
I don't like that. And you're trying to lie to us like we're stupid. Like the public can't go back and find that post and then click the ad and see some random idiot. Y'all didn't even try to make it look legit. Where was the attempt?
That's what happens when you're 9 days late.
Exactly. I mean, yeah. Like the paper trail is going to be hilarious. You know, Kerm said, saw the clip from Pablo. Shout out to Pablo. Digging into this story and bringing it to light, because the last thing Silver and NBA needs is for this to become like widespread, where like other teams are doing this with big name players, because they already went through they're already going through the gambling part, where we all thought once the first person got popped, these other players can't be that dumb. We're finding out they are that dumb because they're constantly getting popped for that. And, let's hope these organizations aren't following suit like Ballmer. Because then Doc Rivers, endorse this company too.
Oh, my God.
I think at least Doc would, talk about them. Kawhi doesn't even talk about the company at all. I mean, if you ask Kawhi would probably be like, I don't, what? Who? They'd be like, the one.
You'll probably get that laugh.
All that money. He'd be like, oh, I thought you said something. No.
That laugh he does.
And then for him to sit here and say, I didn't know. You're not going to sit here and
play
stupid with me.
That's like you go into prison and be like, hey, what are you in here for? Man, I didn't commit that.
I don't know. I ain't do nothing.
Pretty sure you did.
You did something.
Right. All right. It's the NBA offseason has been quiet. This has given them something, although Silver would rather it be something else. So if anything else breaks, we'll definitely have to talk about it. If we get suspensions or something like that, if we get the Shohei thing where somebody else comes out like, oh, I'm the one who did it. Get the fall guy.
There's no way. There's no way that somebody dumb enough to take the fall for this. I'm sorry.
Right.
You
I would have said that about
Shohei.
Shohei.
No amount of money to say I did it.
You never know.
Too pretty for prison.
I may look hard on the outside, but I'm a softie, so you won't see me in jail.
I just wouldn't go, period. I don't need a reason not to go. I'm just not going. All right, so let's go. Go ahead, Jordan. Huh?
I enjoy free air.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you get to pee in peace.
Yeah. Nice, not worried about somebody rolling up behind you and just real quick and then running off. Yeah. Little stab and you just oh, my back. No, I'm cool. Let's move on to the NFL. because as much fun it is to talk about the Clippers, got to move on. We are into week 2. Week 1 was pretty exciting, but we do have to talk about the Giants, because I think the Giants might have found themselves in a situation where they may have to pull a trigger on Jackson Dart a little sooner than they want to. 'Cause I know you saw Russ. Russ was looking rough week 1. You know, it almost seemed like he was hearing footsteps after he got hit. He started running up into sacks and everything like that. I thought the defense has been okay. But when you look at the Giants situation, should they continue on with Russ? Should they go to Jackson? Or should they go to Reverend Jameis for another couple of weeks if this isn't the timeline they wanted to, rush Dart out there? What do you think makes the most sense for the Giants to do? Let's start with Jory.
Let's just get that out the way.
Okay.
Man is cooked. And the real question is, as Dayball, do you want to be a mid-season fire or do you want to get fired at the end of the season? Pick your poison. Because it's coming.
Yeah.
If you don't mind getting a pink slip in the middle of the season, continue to keep playing Russ. Keep playing him. Mm-hmm. Keep starting him. If you would like to last to the end of the season, at least. Yeah. I'm not saying throw Dart out there because that offensive line is horrendous. Bella could do better than that. I'm not kidding. And she's an 8-pound chihuahua. She could do way better than what the Lions. Not the Lions. Shoot. I don't know why I would think about the Lions. I got some things to deal with them too. Yeah. Whoever. The Giants.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good question for Dayball. Like, but if I'm Dayball and I'm like, Russ just is not playing well.
He can't read a defense.
I'd go to the organization and be like, if I threw Dart out there, can y'all give me some assurances for like 2-3 years to work with them? Because if I'm Dayball, if I throw Dart out there and he looks bad and they just tank and they 1-2 wins and you're gonna fire me anyway, I might as well just stick with Russ, live with the fact that I'm gonna get canned anyway, and you guys can figure out who the next coach is to really develop Dart. And good luck with that. Because we've seen all these organizations that will, draft the quarterback. We know Gene talks about all the time. Switch out the coach. The new coach comes in. That's not their guy. Mm-hmm. So now you're tasking him with developing somebody they didn't pick. I don't know when these organizations will learn, but they keep doing the same stupidity over and over again. But, I mean, if I'm Dayball at this point, I might give Russ one more week. If Russ looks the same, I may not even wait for the whole game. Maybe halftime, I go, Reverend, we need you. And let Jameis see if Jameis has a little lightning in his arm. And because I would hold off on Dart for a few weeks. I don't think it'd be fair to him to just throw him out there.
Especially when their schedule's about to get exponentially harder.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
Let James get beat up and throw all the picks he wants.
Right. Because either way, Jameis will still be a cheerleader on the sideline. You got to worry about him.
What we're seeing with Russ is he want to hang on to the ball. Jameis going to let that thing fly. To who? We don't know. But
LASIK or not, he's still throwing it wherever he wants. But yeah, Key, what do you think about the Giants situation?
Speaking of Jameis, I was just watching an interview with him, and they had asked him about his role. He said, of course, he still thinks he could be a starter in the league. Mm-hmm. He said, but he knows his role to assist Russ and to help Dart. So, but Jameis is Jameis. Jameis is always going to be that guy.
Yeah.
How can you not like James? How can you not like James in your locker room? All right. So, but Dart's coming at some point. Russ is getting up there in age.
Mm-hmm.
Russ is not the same Russell. Last name Wilson. He's not that guy no more. He's, he has to settle in and be a game manager now. He's not the game changer or the highlight reel or the elite echelon quarterback Russ used to be back in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen his start decline after Seattle when he went to Denver, even though Denver did him dirty and Sean Payton did him dirty. They got that man 5-game winning streak. He was cooking. And for him to say, oh, yeah, you know what? You're going to take a 10 million pay cut. Excuse me?
Yeah.
No, we're not doing that. And then you decide, no, we're going to bench. They did Russ dirty. So then he went to Pittsburgh. All right. You had Pittsburgh. You had Russ and Justin Fields. I was like, okay, this may not be bad. No, Russ ain't do no better in Pittsburgh. So we to decide he went to New York. So here's the thing with New York. Their defense is not half bad.
Mm-hmm.
It never was an issue. The Giants is like the Chicago Bears. They never was good. You never heard of. They never was good offensively. The Giants, the Bears, is always known for their defense. So defensively, they're sound. Is offensively, they can't get nothing going. They had Saquon. What happened? You let him go. But you have no offensive line.
Yeah.
How are you suspect your quarterback to sit there and do what he do to deliver the balls to the receivers and the weapons if you ain't got no line and he's running for his life? By the time he drops back, he got defenders in his face. So how do y'all expect for the Giants to be successful? The last couple years, you've been picking offensive linemen in the first round who are trash.
Yeah.
Cross was one of them. Andrew Thomas can't stay the hell healthy. Who do you have? Y'all need to. The GM needs to be gone. That whole front office needs to go. So I guarantee you, if you bring a new front office in and a new GM, they're going to do what Chicago did and bring offensive linemen to protect the quarterback. So if that is going to be Jackson Dart in the next 2-3 years, you have to start getting him for some protection and giving him somebody else to throw to. Neighbors act like his ass don't want to catch. You got Neighbors and you got Wendell Robinson. And I don't know why they don't use Jalen Hyatt. What happened to him?
Yeah, I've been wondering that too. I don't know what they're doing.
What's going on? He needs a new change of scenery. Needs a new change of scenery. He was very, very good in college in Tennessee. And what happened? He get to the Giants and they don't know what to do with him.
Yeah.
Well, come back to Tennessee. I'll take him.
And then you get Tracy, who's not a bad running back, and then you get Cam Scatterbo, who was great. Okay, there's your running backs. You got Neighbors as your receivers. I don't know who their tight end is. I don't know who their other receivers are. Start building around there. Get a line, get maybe another pass blocking or catch blocking tight end. You got your running backs. Get another, maybe another star on the opposite side of Neighbors. There's your offense. Defensively, y'all are sound. Abdul Carter, Brian Burns, Dexter. That front four is stacked.
Yep.
It's offensively they stink, and until y'all get some offensive line, it's not going to go nowhere. So Russ, I let him start another week against Dallas, see how that go. But after that, you might want to. But they probably will throw a Dart in. I don't see them throwing Jameis in there. They're gonna have this man fail. They'll throw him to the Wolves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look, it's. You would think that these teams, because most leagues are copycat leagues. You saw the Super Bowl last year. Key your Eagles. What are they known for? The trenches.
Yep.
You get your O-line, you get your D-line, and everything else you can build off of that, at least knowing that up front you're solid. The Giants have the defensive line part. Good for them. But the O-line, if they stink, at a certain point, you're going to wear out that defense, and then the defense is going to start falling off, and then that's when you start getting blowouts. Fans really start losing it. And I look at their offense. There aren't bad pieces. It's just the foundation in that O-line is just so bad that I don't know if I can blame Russ necessarily for his poor play, even though he has looked cooked. But it's like if you gave him a solid line, maybe he could look a little better. So look, the Giants are probably in for a long season. I agree that after this season, maybe they just wipe out everybody, Dayball, people above him, all that, and start new. Maybe that's the only way they get this done. But they need a philosophy change in New York for sure.
Yeah, like they had a great draft.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to get some offensive line. I know y'all got some money. I know y'all can go on a free agent in the offseason and bring some offensive line in. If Russ is not your guy, you got Jackson Dart for your future. You have to protect him.
Yep. Yeah. Otherwise,
Or
he'll be
you're gonna
David Carr
learn,
all over again.
like you said with Chicago, you're gonna keep learning what Chicago's learning. And
Yep.
then keep firing coaches 1 year into the new head coach, into the new quarterback's system, and then he got to relearn a whole new system.
Yeah. But we'll see how the Giants do this. If they figure it out, if we're on Reverend Jameis watch, because I agree with you, Key. Especially a lot of stuff he did this offseason where he was like working, I think with ABC and doing like interviews and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That
Jameis
man was having fun. You threw him
after
anywhere.
football's over, I could see him being something in the media, whether it's a reporter, whether it's on air, something. That's going to be his calling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he will be really good at it. All right, so now talking more about week 2. You guys already know we like to do. Actually, let's do tiers. We're going to introduce our precision index. See, Winston should take over if Russ can't get it done. Okay, all right, Saji, I can agree with that. Yeah, don't throw Dart out there to break his confidence right now. That wouldn't be fair to him. So let's go ahead and add this. All right, so the precision index, if you remember from last season, we ranked the teams. It's fluid, like Stephen A likes to say.
This is fluid.
Yeah, fluid. And this is our tier list or whatever you want. These are our tiers for the NFL after just one game. It is kind of hard to evaluate teams, but we did what we could. I guess we'll start the Dungeon Dwellers. Maybe the most surprising team down there, the Dolphins, who have made some news. They had a players only meeting. Rex Ryan's called their coach Nerd Boy. Tyreek Hill is in trouble off the field again, but is frustrated on the sideline. Tua looks like he's regressing. Mike McDaniel's now known more for the fit than the actual game plan. Like, what is going on in Miami?
A hurricane, a mess.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, the bad part is, if you do a players only meeting, they're probably talking about the coach.
It's week 1.
That's why I said it's too. When you get beat 44-3 and every possession they score, I guess you got to have some type of meeting.
Right.
I've
But
never
if I'm
seen
McDaniel, how can I feel confident that my guys are meeting behind my back? That's crazy.
And then for McDaniel to sit out there and just give out these long answers where he's rambling about nothing. I'm like, say something worth a damn or say nothing at all.
Yeah.
I think there's pressure and da-da-da. Of course there's pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see entitlement in da-da-da-da. And I just think I need to focus on doing your job. Well, you're clearly not.
Right.
And you've been terrible at your job for the past couple of seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It started slipping with the cracks. First, we forget. First, you forget how to coach when you don't have to.
Yeah.
Then it takes you forever to find a capable backup, knowing what we know about Tua.
Mm-hmm.
You never really got the defense together. You did nothing. And you sat back and did nothing. What are you
Hmm.
there for? Be a leader. Stop being their best friend.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's the beeping that is the problem. Because if you go back to where Tua had that stupid interview and he said Mike McDaniels is my friend and da 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 da, and because he didn't like Brian Flores because Flores got in his ass. That's what y'all need.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That is exactly what you need, bro. Like
Yeah.
clearly, because if you get carved up by Danny Nichols and the Colts,
That is a bad look.
Had Daniel Jones looking like Tom Brady out there.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones scored on every possession. You didn't force a punt. Then you had Tua turning the ball over, throwing the ball to linebackers and safeties like they're not there. Like, are you blind? Do you have a cataract, an astigmatism? What is wrong with you? And
Hmm.
then you can't hold on to the ball for nothing.
Curtis says Tyreek Hill ran that franchise to the ground.
He
I,
has
I think we, I think we need to learn about Tyreek Hill. He has a shelf life. You can't have him around too long because it just becomes a wear on your franchise. And like I said, he's got some stuff off the field that could become a bigger issue. But when we've heard that before. So yeah, Miami is just a mess right now. And Key, like you said, week one you're doing a players only meeting. That means your team is probably on the brink of imploding if you lose a couple more games early in this season. And if that happens, expect Tyreek Hill to act even worse. It may infect Jalen Waddle, some of those guys on defense, especially like their defensive line, because defensive line, they're actually not bad. It was just that Colts game just got away from them. And like if your offense can't do anything, at a certain point, your defense is going to look worse.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's going to be something that from the inside out, we'll get reports from these insiders about stuff being said. I'm waiting for a fight to happen. Like I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what's about to happen down in Miami.
And the thing is with Tua is like you can't like say, oh, we're gonna bench you that or try to trade him. That's gonna be a lot of dead cap on they books. So
Mm-hmm.
you gotta stick with him.
And how many quarterback situations would you say if you drop two in, you'd be like, "Yep, that team is now fixed"? None.
Because
Current.
Zach Wilson can't do no better.
Current. If
Yeah.
they lose to the Patriots, which I think they will, because but Mike Vrabel has a winning record against Miami. I don't think nobody's mentioned that. He has a winning record. He's a tougher coach. He's gonna have
Hmm.
that team being competitive. The Patriots aren't soft. They play poorly last week? Yes. Are they soft? No.
Hmm.
Are the Dolphins soft? Yes.
Yep. Like we haven't even gotten to the cold months yet, and they're already looking like this.
Usually we don't see this until it's the weather starts changing.
Yep.
The fact that this is the first game of the season and you're already looking like this, I can. They're like, and Mike McDaniels is like, it can't get much worse.
Yes, it can.
Yes, it can. Wait till the dip below 65.
Yep.
We'll see
Yeah.
how much worse it get.
Hmm.
And then Tua gonna say, "Oh, half the stuff y'all talking about, I ain't never heard of before." Oh, come on, get out of here.
That's why you are the way that you are, and you can't help but get knocked on around in your head because you don't know how to protect yourself. And then you have the audacity, the unmitigated audacity to sit there and get defensive because the reporter asked, "Why is it that when you turn the ball over, that you turn it over in bunches, and you can't?" That's usually how it happens.
Yeah,
Stop being salty. You just don't want to hear the truth.
yeah.
Delusional. I don't know what is going on in Miami. A whole bunch of delusion. Well, first,
Hmm.
I can actually identify it. You got Mike McDaniel kissing up the tour so much that he felt like he could do nothing wrong, and this is where you get little stupid comments like that.
Hmm.
And then when you ask him about reiterating or rethinking his comments, he said again. I'm like, Tua, I don't know did you start talking this much, but I'm gonna need you to be quiet. Because how dare you get mad at them for pointing out an observation? Just because you don't like it don't mean it ain't the truth.
Yep.
I
Facts.
don't think it happens like that. Well, clearly you don't watch the film. And there's another issue.
Hmm.
Delusional. Sorry.
But
And
you
then
good.
they had asked Tyreek Hill, "How come you don't have no passes over 30 yards?" I was like, "Ooh, y'all trying to the media trying to start."
If I'm Miami media, like this team isn't likable. Like McDaniel comes off a certain way. Tyreek Hill with all of his baggage. You have Tua, who you look at some of the other young quarterbacks around the league, you're like, I'd rather have a number of those guys over Tua right now. You look at a defense that they're okay. Are they great? No. And then all the hype with McDaniel came in. They had the good year when he first got there until the end of the season in the playoff game. But since then, it's been off a cliff. It's like maybe some Miami media people are like, you know what? Maybe Flores wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because Flores is in Minnesota with a defense that nobody really knows about, and he's performing out there, while Miami is just stuck in their own way.
And this is what they get for doing Flores dirty.
It
Yeah.
definitely did. Had that team winning, and then you fire them.
Yep.
Flores didn't want to.
Nope. Clearly, he saw something.
Watson was going to go there until he got fired. The Miami would have had Deshaun Watson.
Which you spin it forward, with everything that went on with Watson. Probably don't want that either. But when it was good Watson, they would have probably been further along than where they are right now.
But
Mm-hmm.
he was acting up in Houston. Knowing what we know about Deshaun Watson, can you imagine how he would have acted in Miami?
Mm.
That's true. He probably would have been
Why?
drunk on Miami Beach, shirt off, just chasing.
McDaniel's not making the season. He's not gonna last the season.
Yeah, unless they flip some switch and become some dominant offense again, I don't think they make. I don't think he makes it through the season.
If they lose next week,
Mm-hmm.
I think he's gone by week 4.
I said 5, but shoot.
Yeah. It also depends, I guess, partly on the fashion that they lose. Like if they come out the same way they did against the Colts, then yeah. I mean, it may happen after the game. One of those things where teams going on the bus or in the facility, and they go to McDaniel like, you know what, you're not the coach anymore. One of those things. I could see that because I think the way the media is acting with the team and the way the team's doing a players only meeting, like ownership has to be at their wits end with this guy. You can rock the shades, but we didn't hire you to be on Project Runway on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, look, the Dungeon Dwellers, I feel like the other teams are kind of self-explanatory. Now,
Yeah,
flip flop
got
flock, we have a whole set of teams in that category. I guess, is there a team you want to highlight, Jory?
Mine.
Okay.
And this will cover my Music City Blitz.
Okay. Speak on them.
I love Cam. Cam is going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
The offensive line is fine. They played Denver. The defense will be more than fine. The special teams is fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know what's not fine? The coach,
Mm.
the receivers. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the thing with the receivers, Cam is a rookie. These receivers have not played together before. It's going to take a couple of weeks to get their chemistry together. I'm willing to give it time. Mr. Brian Callahan. Are three receivers blocking one defensive back?
How y'all forget the assignment?
What? At least they're willing to to block. He didn't turn the ball over. Did he make some questionable decisions? Yes, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll get that out of him. Brian needs to start playing. I'm not calling him Callie. I'm not calling him none of that. Brian needs to figure his crap together. Get his crap together.
Oh,
Call a
good,
complete game
good old
offensively.
government.
You don't have to worry about the defense. Call a good game offensively. Tailor it to Cam's strength. We know Cam has the ability to slow the game down to meet him. We've seen
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah.
Take advantage. And I should not have to tell you, an elbow is as good as 2 feet. You are a head coach. If I know Mike Vrabel made a challenge for a butt cheek and won, an elbow wins.
Yeah.
Let's not do this.
That is something you need to know as a coach. Because if you think about
That's
it,
the thing.
if a player's running over the middle of the field and they get tackled, their elbow hits and the ball comes out, every referee will tell you the elbow means you're down. So how on the sideline you don't go, wait a minute, his elbow. Yeah, let me challenge that. So I hear you going at Callahan. Like how long of a leash are you giving Callahan at this point?
I don't know. Like,
Well, okay. I guess I'll put it this way. Would you say he's on like a Dayball McDaniel scale, or are you not ready to go there yet?
I'm not ready to go there yet.
Okay.
I don't think he's there yet.
That's fair.
Because last year, you got to give him, he had Will Levis as a quarterback. And what is that?
Yeah. I see the Mayo commercial stopped.
Thank you.
They used to play those every commercial break, and now I'm like, the man just signed the deal, and y'all cut him off like that.
He would be great for Hellman's. I mean,
Yeah.
or some coffee.
Yeah. So it's the second year, you can give him a little time. So I guess Saijan wants an explanation for the Texans, Raiders, the Niners, and the Cardinals.
When was the last time we saw a very good CJ Stroud?
His rookie year?
Rookie year. Well, actually, the end of last year, he, for some reason, turned into rookie CJ Stroud. Like, the best games they played was the playoff game. The whole season, he'd been terrible. And then waited until then. And then he starts off this year kind of struggling again.
They ain't got no offensive line either.
Yeah, and they tampered with it. And I'm like, why would you do that? And one thing about D'Amico Ryans, I'm kind of starting to get a little irritated.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not concerned about what's going on the offensive side of the ball?
Exactly.
But that's a struggle for defensive-minded coaches.
Mm-hmm.
So normally,
Vrabel didn't have these issues. They just picked the wrong quarterback. He got fired for it.
Vrabel's also a special. Like Vrabel's out there with offensive linemen losing his
Right.
mind, getting all giddy. Some defensive coaches can bridge the gap. Others, they focus on defense and they go, "Hey, OC, that's your side of the ball. You figure it out."
But then
Mm-hmm.
you fired a man, Slowick.
Yeah.
Good old Billy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really trying to give them some grace, but I'm not giving them any because they're making bad decisions.
Yeah.
They're actively making bad decisions.
Yeah. Because that approach can work against you. I feel like Tomlin's kind of like that. He lets his OC do his thing, and look, people have killed him for the Arthur Smith pick and some of his other picks. That can come back to burn you if you keep hiring guys that just can't get it done.
Arthur Smith was terrible. Oh my God, he was horrible.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Arthur Smith can game plan with Derrick Henry. Congratulations. Anybody could do that. Like, but all right, so how about the Raiders? Since Sijin wants to know about the Raiders as well.
I don't know how to feel about them.
Yeah, I don't know. They
I
got
think
Katy Perry syndrome.
Thank you. Hot and cold.
Hot and cold.
Yeah. Like they have pieces you like. Collectively, you're just like, I don't know. Like if you look at the Raiders, I don't know if they're gonna be 8 wins, 5 wins, or could they just go like pop off and be one of those sneaky 10-win teams? Probably not, but somewhere between like 5 and 8, they'll probably land.
Not
it's
with
like,
Geno.
I don't know if Geno Smith is really that good. I like Brock Bowers, but at a certain point with tight ends, they kind of get beat up for playing over the middle. Jacoby Myers is your number 1 receiver. He's okay, not great. You have Genty at running back. That's good. And then defensively, it's Max Crosby and probably guess a name. Although Kuntz is good on the other side, but I think for them, you have to see a few weeks to really figure out how good they are. Sijin, I agree. Coach Carroll is a good coach. I can agree with that.
I'm not saying that Pete ain't going to do his job. It's just the personnel around him.
Yeah.
And the division.
Right.
True.
Brock Bowers is going to be out. I guess they're going to use Michael Mayer, and I know Chip Kelly likes 2 tight end sets. Genty, you got to see what he does. They got the rookie Thornton out there. So, I mean, I'm going to give the Raiders a chance. Like I said, Katy Perry, hot and cold. Yes and no. We don't know what they're going to do. So, that's why you put them in that flip-flop category. Flip-flop block.
Right. Like with Carroll, it's like they may look up and down early in the season, and they may look better later in the year and play spoiler to a couple of teams. Like next year, they might be even better off. But that's, I agree with you. It's like hot and cold, flip-flop. It just works perfectly. All right, the Niners.
Injury bug.
Yeah.
Ooh,
they need to fire their strength and conditioning staff.
They need to be in the bubble.
Yeah. You got Purdy, Kittle down.
You know what it is? Like during the off season, these players don't take care of their body. They're like, oh, it's off season. I get a break. Let's just not do anything. So they're not training like how they used to be, in the off season to keep their body right. Time the training camp comes and OTAs and preseason, they're like, no, we're not gonna play. We're gonna sit out, and then you pull a hammy, or it's always a soft tissue injury. It's never nothing crazy like a knee, or Brock is out because of turf toe. A toe.
Yeah.
I got an example because I saw a tweet and you just gave me the perfect example to remember this tweet. Position on the body. Ezekiel Elliott was washed 5 years into his career. Derrick Henry is on year what? And doing what? Mind you, Derrick Henry spends $250,000 on his on his body to keep it maintained.
Yeah.
Just like LeBron.
Your body. I know sometimes things happen. And I know sometimes you sleep weird and you could tweak a hamstring. Look, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But all the time,
They need to do call up Kyrie, let him whip out his sage and just walk around. We know Kyrie will do it for you. That's probably what they need at this point. Because every year, like you said, there's always some like rash of injuries that they have to go through. And especially with this season, when you look at the guys they lost in the offseason, like you don't have, Greenlaw and Kinlaw, you don't have Hafanga anymore. Like this is a different Niners team that's kind of getting off on the wrong foot. I mean, they did win against Seattle and Syjan. I'm sure you could agree with me. If Tariq Woolen plays that ball correctly, the Seahawks win that game.
mm-hmm.
So we'd be talking about even something different. And the Niners are like, wait and see. They brought back Robert Saleh. Love that.
Mm-hmm.
He also needs kind of pieces on that side to really get it done. But the worries are offensively because now you have, I guess, 2 to 4 weeks without Purdy, which means Mac Jones gets another shot. I'm rooting for Mac Jones, but I don't know necessarily how many games you'll win in the next 4 with him. Kittle, who's your best offensive playmaker right now, he's out for several weeks. So I don't know. Maybe Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne can get you through because they have a connection. That's not scaring any defense, though.
And by the time them two get back, guess who's going to be on time for his yearly injury?
Right. Yeah. CMC, it's not if but when at this point.
I ain't trying to jinx nobody, but it's just in his wheelhouse. You know how McCaffrey is. Some point in the season you won't see him.
Yeah.
Just like Dallas Goedert. Some point in the season you won't see him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get Mac and Spencer Rattler this week.
Whack and cheese and Spencer Rattler.
I'm not watching that.
See, I would say that, but then that like turns into one of those matchups where it's just entertaining for whatever reason. I don't know. I may tune into it every once in a while to see where it is. All right, so then the last team Sidron had the Cardinals.
Frauds.
Yeah, look, I want to root for them. Connor's been, good. Love McBride. I mean, Harrison had a very much up and down year last year. It's just that little quarterback with the little choppy steps, Kyler Murray. It's on him to get this.
Did you see when he wore to the game?
I did not. I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it up right now. What did Kyler?
Wait, what happened?
Look up what Kyler Murray wore to the game.
Oh yeah, them shorts was bigger than him. He only 4 foot nothing, so you can't be wearing big clothes like that. But apparently that day, he had the BGs really bad. I don't know, if something he ate or he wasn't, but he said he had to take Imodium so it could stop him from, going.
No.
He's
like listed at 5'10". I'm not believing that.
5'10".
That's what they list him as.
Well, them shorts made him look like 4'2".
Yeah. Look. The other part.
Rhinestones on it. What is with y'all in rhinestones?
I don't know. It's a choice. We'll put it that way.
Rhinestones on the sweater. I'm like, okay, Kyler. Okay. Pick either the shirt or the shorts, not both.
Look, baby, he was cleaning out his closet. He found a bedazzler in the back. He's like, I'm gonna put it to use today.
Yeah.
He went to town. with them
glitter
rhinestones.
bomb. Look.
Yeah. Only for the Cards because their fan base says they have a chance to win the division. Well,
yeah, I doubt that.
Basically,
I feel like the Cardinals would have an offensive identity. Like they got pieces.
yeah.
It's the defensive side. Don't trust Gann ass. Trust me. I experienced Gannon. So it's just something about him. I don't know. I don't know. They overpaid for Josh Sweat. They overpaid for Josh Sweat.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Buda Baker still they saving grace. I don't know who else they got over there. That's only two I know. On defensive side.
Yeah.
Gannon is on the hot seat.
Should have been on the hot seat.
And he's got Kyler Murray to help to potentially decide his job. And we're in a year. We got Call of Duty coming out. And we know the man loves him some Call of Duty. So we'll just say. All right, so I guess we'll move to the Chain Movers group. I'll be Sijin if there's teams you want to highlight in there. So I feel like people will probably ask. We got the Ravens hovering. I guess let's talk about the Ravens for a second. Jory and I's favorite team. Love the Ravens. We have seen some power rankings that kept the Ravens as like one of the elite teams, and some even had them higher than the Bills. Despite what we watched, they still think the Ravens are better than the Bills.
No, what they jugs are bad, y'all. Jugs are very bad. Okay.
Yeah, like that's how you're gonna talk about Kyler. I mean, they put a thing in his contract for it. That's all you're supposed to talk about with Kyler Murray.
He is never going to live that down. They put a video game clause in his contract and then tried to take that back like it didn't happen. Oh, no. You don't get to embarrass your franchise quarterback like that and think we're just going to forget, don't you?
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you when I'll stop talking about it.
When he plays well in November when it come out.
Get him in the playoffs. Or, you know what? Just have a complete season. Last year, his first half was really good. You look at the second half, the numbers dipped.
Right after a video game released.
Yeah, I feel like Arizona competed. They just couldn't get over the hump.
Yeah. So if he puts together a 17-game season where he looks effective, I will stop talking about his video game obsession.
And one player that's underrated over there is James Conner.
Yeah. Conner's steady. So the Ravens, I guess why we have them in chain movers. Despite a lot of people saying they have the best roster in football.
15 points in 4 minutes. That's why.
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
Them. I'm not putting them at the top of any list that got my name on it. Absolutely not.
Exactly.
They could be running around here with 2 MVPs and 2 playoffs. Mm-hmm. They could do whatever they want to do. They're not going to be at the top of my list. Them. They got a feather brain as a head coach. I don't like him.
Mm-hmm. They have an OC with an identity issue. They have a quarterback that hasn't performed in big games. The one thing you like is the running back. And yes, he had the fumble, which I heard people talking about. Oh, Derrick Henry did fumble. Derrick Henry also had like 200 yards rushing. I don't care if Derrick Henry fumbled 3 times in that game. You have 4th and 2 or 3.
You giving it to him.
I give it to Derrick Henry, especially when he's stiff-arming guys into oblivion.
Or Lamar couldn't run it because he had a cramp, and he's gonna come out there with that little pickle juice response. First of all, just because you got a cramp, your running back ain't got no damn cramp. So what?
Right. And that led to a Zay Flowers jet sweep on 2nd down. Zay Flowers is about as big as Kyler Murray. You think he's gonna run around the edge and get 8 yards for you?
No.
Absolutely not.
And you saw the way he gave up on the play. The minute he saw a defender, he went down. He's like, no, I'm not doing this. That was your 2nd down and 8 call. Yeah, I just can't with them. And look,
And then your secondary is porous and overrated.
Jair was a turnstile.
Oh my goodness, Coleman was cooking him up and down the field. He was barbecue chicken.
Yeah.
And if we're really gonna be technical, that offensive lineman, they have an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to say his name. Y'all know which one I'm talking about. With the doing the spinning around, looking like I'm lost. You know what? I'll save it for final burn.
Yeah, so look, the Ravens need to start winning some of these big games. We're kind of done with the moral victories. We're done with the Lamar MVP stuff. The MVPs are cool. Go get you a Super Bowl MVP at this point if you want another one. But yeah, to lose like that when you looked as dominant as you did for most of that game is wild to me. Shout out to Josh Allen. I said it. I think that was Josh Allen's maybe statement performance. Outside maybe the Kansas City game where 13 seconds is what it took for him to lose it, but to come back like that showed the maturation in Josh Allen. A couple of years ago, he'd have thrown a couple of boneheaded picks and they wouldn't have had a chance. Is Lamar's window closing to get the bling? Yeah. They have some decisions to make after this year with some key pieces. And Lamar uses his athleticism a lot. At a certain point, that's going to start, not being as reliable. And he still doesn't have
the offensive line is going to get exposed because you're failing to properly address that. There should be no reason why one of your offensive linemen is doing pirouettes in the middle of a play.
Yeah. And that's to Lamar's strong side. So who's to say that at a certain point Lamar doesn't just drop back and it automatically thinks scrambled because that guy's going to let somebody in right in his face.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say it's closing. Is it closed? No. But last year I thought was probably their best year. The year before that, they had a good opportunity. You don't get too many good opportunities in the NFL without cashing in.
Nope.
So, all right. Seidman said the Bucks.
Where they at? Chain movers?
Yeah.
I like them there. They're gonna win the division this year too. I think they're gonna be one of those teams who kind of loses and then comes back up, kind of how it was last season. It was up and down. They had a winning streak, then they lost. Baker's finally with a team that appreciates him. Mm-hmm. Baker has weapons around him. Mike Evans, when Godwin comes back, Ibuka looked great in his first week. Their defense isn't half bad, even though Tristan Wirfs can't stay healthy to save his life either. He reminds me of what's his name? From Green Bay. He can't stay healthy. I couldn't stay healthy. Backyard.
Yeah.
He could never. Oh my God, he could never stay on the field. It feel like Tristan Wirfs never stays on the field, and they need him the most. Mm-hmm. Baker needs Tristan Wirfs out there, but he's never healthy. But they got a good running game. I like Bucky Urban. So I mean, they're a chain mover in my opinion. That's why they're there.
They're not elite.
Right. But they're good. They're pretty good.
Got carved up by an old F-450, F-250 and Herbert. Just rumbling down the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
And then if he wasn't just using his legs, do you know when I was seeing him run down the sideline, I'm like, do you realize how big this man is?
Yeah, that is. I guess that's kind of something you don't really think about with Herbert. He is a really big quarterback.
And Chris Jones has some nerve to get mad at Tranquil for saying that wasn't your job.
I seen that.
It was Chris Jones's fault that Herbert was rumbling down the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they're there. They don't have the wide receiver room is a mess. Stop relying on Patrick Mahomes to just elevate all the receivers. Go get him some dogs. I'm tired of them playing with that. The running game is questionable.
Mm-hmm.
Kelsey getting old, taking out people in his wake. I know what you're doing. I'm kidding, but
This is now year 2 of Kelsey
secondary.
doing this, starting off really slow.
The secondary. How many wide open Chargers receivers did we see?
Way too many. It was almost every drop back there was somebody wide open.
And nobody was like within 5-10 yards around them. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
Chiefs
why
look
they're
weird.
there.
Yeah, the wide receiver thing is a real problem because Worthy's now playing through this arm injury.
And it's like a dislocate. It's dislocated something. I read it today. Shoulder.
Yeah, shoulder. He's going to wear a brace and play
with a dislocated shoulder. Are you dumb?
because they don't have anything else. If he's out, because Rice is still out with the suspension, you're relying on Hollywood Brown, who did almost have 100 yards against the Chargers, but
And Juju.
Hollywood Brown shouldn't be your number one. And then you have Juju Smith, who's going to work the middle of the field. That's not going to win you a lot, those two. So, yeah, they need to do something. I saw people talking about, hey, why don't the Chiefs go get Tyreek Hill?
Oh, God, no.
You think Andy Reid wants that headache again?
No, Andy ain't going
everything Tyreek done said about Kansas City.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So, like, Kansas City is in chain movers, but they could be free falling because their next couple of games aren't easy either.
They got the Eagles next.
Mm-hmm. And they have the Ravens in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. And contrary to popular belief, Jalen Hurts can throw a ball.
Pretty much. Tired of that narrative too.
I'm good at it too.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that.
I feel like I saw over the weekend, like a lot of quarterbacks who probably don't get a lot of credit for the ball that they throw. Hurts is one. I think Jordan Love's another one. Jordan Love
he definitely was airing it out last night.
That's the only thing. He just loves throwing it downfield. Like you give him time, he's looking for Golden or somebody. But yeah, the Hurts narrative. Hopefully now that games are actually playing and people can be like, oh yeah, they're actually winning. Like we need to stop that.
Yeah, the one TikTok I seen, it was like, oh, can it Hurts even throw? He can't even throw. And the comments was like, did you not watch the Super Bowl? Did you not see the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Did you not see him just throw 50 yards to Jahan Dotson? What do you mean he can't throw?
It's probably the same people who will tell you Lamar can make all the throws when he can't. All right, so Simon said his Seahawks because they are in chain movers. I think McDonald will have that defense perform. I think offensively, Darnold might need a couple of weeks to get his feet set, but
yep, that's
I think last year a lot of people kind of killed Darnold for the way the year ended. You got to remember he was in MVP talks in the second half of the season, so he had a good year until he just didn't, and when he didn't, it looked real rough. So I think what they could be defensively, if Darnold gives you a season like last year, I think the Seahawks could push the Rams for the division. I do. Sijin brings up a good point because I think the Seahawks went like 1-5 last year in the division and still won 10 games, but lost on a tiebreaker to the Rams. Kind of weird, but yeah, they do need to take care of business in that division, especially the Niners in the state that they are, and the Cardinals being, Jekyll and Hyde. Like you have to win some of those games, and the Rams split with them, you should be fine. Spoon is out. Yeah, that's a tough one. Woolen is questionable. The Steelers will win. Not comfortable in the
Woolen's
quarterback.
starting spot is questionable now after doing that bonehead crap.
Yeah. I remember watching that play. I was like, they're not really floating this ball up there. And I saw Woolen. He was in position. I was like, okay, this is where the game ends. And then the tight end undercut him and caught it. And Woolen was like falling out of bounds. And I was like, what about going up strong for the ball? Like, what are you doing? But if Spoon's out, Woolen's going to have to step it up.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be an interesting game. Seahawks, Steelers.
I like Seattle's offense too. I mean, they got two good running backs in Walker and Charbonnet, JSN. So I mean, I like them.
They have the pieces to be a good team.
DK gonna try to put BTA. So
yeah.
And we know Rodgers will, happily oblige throwing him a few more balls than normal.
Will we see another 4-game touchdown performance from Aaron Rodgers? I don't know about that, but
he better get him early. As the season goes on, that 40-some-year-old body's going to start breaking down. All right, so that takes care of Sijin's team, the Chain Movers. Let's go Dub Club. These are the 4 best teams that we have in football. I feel like anybody in chat, do you have a question with any of those teams? Because I feel like those 4 teams, if you look at the weekends that they had, it's hard to argue against them. The Chargers looked dominant against the Chiefs. Their wide receiver room is going to give defenses a lot of trouble. And their defense, it's a Harbaugh team, so you knew the defense was going to be there eventually. The Eagles, I'll say this, as a Super Bowl champ, when you go into the next year, you will get games like against the Cowboys. They didn't play their A game. But the fact that they won a game like that just shows you how good they are. And they may have a couple more of those over the course of the season because going back-to-back in the NFL, it is tough.
Yeah.
And now teams are going to be geared up for them. The Bills, we talked about the comeback, says all you need to know. And then Green Bay just looked great against the Lions. Like Parsons looks like he's energized that group. And Golden is a real downfield threat. Like him and Love will connect on several deep passes this season.
But the one thing nobody's talking about Green Bay is their receivers are always injured.
Yeah.
Who is Love going to be throwing to next? The Water Boy next? Go ahead and suit up. Who? Jalen Reed broke his collarbone.
Yep.
Watson, he still hasn't came back yet. All they got is what, Wicks and
Golden,
Dobbs, and he's injury prone too. Tucker Craft, I believe by the end of the season he's going to be a top 10 tight end.
I did a preseason tight ends list. I have him at 7. Based off of what I've seen so far, he could be top 5. Okay. That's the precision index. I feel like that went well. We'll probably revisit this another couple of weeks. Give some teams a chance to move around a little bit. Like all these teams and their quarterbacks, I'm pushing for the Chargers. Sue me. Hey, look, I said my off-the-wall Super Bowl matchup would be Chargers-Packers. It's not one I don't bet, but obviously if I were, it's not one I would put a bet on, but I could see it happening.
Of course, I like to see different teams. Of course, this is my own team that wants to go to all the Super Bowls. I don't mind that. Of course, you don't mind that. But somebody that's different. Like you used to see the Patriots all these years, and it was
I miss those
Kansas
days.
City, and then we kind of stopped them to getting that third, that three-peat. So I mean, it's interesting to see who's going to go to Super Bowl. If it can't be my Birds, I would love to see somebody different. So
Mm-hmm. All right. So I guess since Jory did a little bit of her Music City Blitz when she was talking about the Titans, let's go with Key's bird's eye view. So I'll let you take over here.
all right, so of course Jalen Carter won't. That was the highlight here in TA here, and Carter won't be suspended. We all know what Carter did. I'm not saying I agree with him. It was inexcusable. You got to think with your head. I know emotions. So Dak did bait him. He didn't have to take the bait. He should have just been like, "All right, I got you later," type of deal, and I'm gonna get you on this field. You're gonna be looking at these nice bright stars at Lincoln Financial Field, but didn't happen that way. But he didn't. He's not getting suspended. He already served his suspension because he didn't play. Started literally at the beginning of the game. Nothing happened. He just got fined a game check pretty much. I think it's like 57K. So he's good. He told his players he won't do that again. And I believe him. I know he may be a head case. We all know how he was in Georgia and everything, but being in a disciplined team like he is, everybody takes accountability to themselves. I believe I'm gonna hold him to it. I don't think he'll do anything dumb like that again. Traded
Jory
for
co-signs that. Spit on me, we both at the crib.
Yep.
Yes. But and then the Florida player did it too. See, here's the difference between the guy from Florida and Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter just did a little trinkle. Cocked it back.
Yeah.
And just I was just like, oh my God. So
look, I'm like, people who spit on people, I'm like, you done lost your rabbit beef and beat mind. But I'm gonna help you find it. If you don't find your mind, you're gonna find God spitting on me. Look.
Mm-hmm.
That's an assault charge.
Yeah.
Like you can get charged for that. That's nothing to play around with. Tank Bigsby gets traded. We traded for Tank Bigsby. This was a head scratcher for me at first. I was like, really, how we will be doing here? But then I found out that Will Shipley is going to be out for a while. He fractured his rib at the Dallas game, and then plus Tank Bigsby wasn't doing nothing in with the Jags anyway. They had Travis Etienne down there, so but Bigsby is good in the special teams. So Will Shipley did do special teams, so that'll help us out tremendously on the special teams end. So I'm not mad at it once I figured it out. I'm still hoping and praying we get a corner because Dory Jackson ain't it.
I told y'all.
This man is doo-doo butter. You wonder why teams never resign him. You never noticed that? Teams never resign him. He's always at a one team and done and goes somewhere else. The Giants. I don't know where else he was at, but I just know him as the Giants. So yeah. And I'm just like, why are we
with Adoree Jackson? He's one of the first players Vrabel got rid of.
That he actually wanted to, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I just hope we get that. The secondary, the cornerback 2 position is a what are you eating? Sorry, is a issue. So losing Slay and CJ was a kind of a big deal, as you can see. But but we'll figure it out. Big Fangio, he's a respectable DC in his league. Something Miami didn't take advantage of, took for granted of. Yep. And thank you for that, Miami. I appreciate you. And the Vic holds his players to greatness and perfection. So after the Super Bowl, he got on him. You're supposed to be celebrating. No, he was like, I wanted perfection. So I like it. So and Vic, I trust, and I just hope and pray that he knows what he's doing with Adoree Jackson. Because as soon as he messes up again, you're gonna let Juju Smith-Schuster burn you. You better not. You better not. You better not. And then that brings me to my keys to the game. So of course we got to disrupt Mahomes' rhythm. You can't let Patty get hot, because then that's when everybody starts catching, whether it's Travis Kelce, whether he finds Watson and Gray, the other two tight ends. Whether Pacheco gets going, Kareem Hunt gets going in that offensive line, starts to push us around. They got a rookie on the offensive side, so can rough him up a little bit. But no, you can't get Patty going. So disrupt his rhythm. It's going to be like the Super Bowl all over again. I'm not worried about our front. I'm not worried about the linebackers. They're going to get to Mahomes. So, but still got to disrupt his rhythm. Number 2, can we please get A.J. Brown the ball this week? Get him the ball this week. Yep. That should be game plan number 1. Give 11 the ball. Why? He's always open. I mean, he wasn't open in the Dallas game, but he is always open 9 times out of 10. Get him the ball hot and early. And matter of fact, all the receivers involved. Not just
y'all don't want him, I'll take him back.
No, it's fine. I didn't say nothing about that. And then again, I just said don't let the big play happen. Don't let Juju Smith-Schuster burn you. Don't let a broken 25% Xavier Worthy burn you. Please don't. And I still think that's not a good idea, him playing on a dislocated shoulder. They're going to give him the Patty shot. He'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's my bird's eye view.
Okay.
He'll be fine, but he risks making something worse.
Like a collarbone.
Then he's done for the season.
Yeah.
Collarbone, you're not done for the season because they said Jalen Reed can be out 6 to 8 weeks.
I'm not playing if something broke in my neck. I'm not playing jack squat. That is too close to my face. That is too close to vital organs. No. What if I break my collarbone and it impedes my ability to breathe? I'm asthmatic enough. No.
Appreciate that, Sajan. Well, I'll just go quickly. Foxborough Files here. Tapped into my It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If you know that episode. So against the Raiders, defense looked good. Harold Landry had 2.5 sacks. I was surprised by that. Milton Williams looked good in the middle. They did go long stretches without getting pressure on Geno Smith, and Geno threw for a lot of yards, but you don't have Christian Gonzalez, so that's kind of understandable, but they were still in the game. The running game for the Patriots was non-existent. I'm going to need that to be fixed because you have to have balance, even though Drake May actually did not have a terrible game. He completed 65% of his passes, threw for almost 300 yards. Yes, he had the bad interception, which he did get hit on the throw, and he did miss a couple of guys who were open. So we'll hope that it was just the first game, new system. Now he'll feel more comfortable. I know during the week they did release Jabril Peppers, which I know made some waves, but I think when you have Peppers and you have Duggar on the team, they're redundant. And if you notice from the moves that Vrabel made over the summer, he wants that defense to be fast. So I think it was between Peppers and Duggar. They tried to move Duggar, couldn't find anybody. So Peppers was, less of a cap hit. They just moved on from him instead. I think Jabril's in Pittsburgh now, so oddly enough, they will see each other in a couple of weeks as well. Funny how all these guys go to new places and they end up playing their old team pretty quickly. I didn't have a problem with the move. Plus, the young guy they drafted in the 4th round, Woodson, started and rated out pretty well according to PFF, above average. So I'm fine with it. Looking ahead to the Dolphins, a team that's probably begging to lose so they can probably get Mike McDaniel out of there. The O-line will be tested again because the Dolphins' defensive front actually is pretty good. You're looking at Bradley Chubb, Chop Robinson, Matt Judon, Seiler. Like, they have guys, if your line isn't straight, they can create pressure on Drake May. So the O-line's going to have another test. The run game, like I said, Stevenson, we'll probably like to see Henderson a little bit more, but Stevenson and Gibson, you're going to have to take some pressure off of Drake May. And then don't give the Dolphins confidence. They had a players-only meeting for a reason. There's some serious issues. This could be your chance to take advantage. Usually don't play well early in the season in Miami. But like Jory said, that happened with Belichick. Vrabel plays well against Miami. So I feel like he'll have them ready to lengthen the misery down on South Beach.
And Tua knows it because Tua was on the receiving end on his rookie year because he was on the bench because Flores didn't want to play him when they got their butts kicked 33-6.
Yep.
So Tua is very well acclimated to Mr. Mike Vrabel.
Yep. Exactly.
He
Now
knows how
Terrell
to get
Williams.
to him.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. And Terrell Williams, the DC, is stepping away for health reasons for a couple of weeks. I just hope he
I
can
hope he's
finally
okay.
get over it. Yeah.
I loved him in Tennessee.
Yeah.
He was our defensive line coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The man knows what he's doing. Yeah. I know. That's what I have. All right. Sijan's asking you a question before he goes.
My record, anything more than 3 games.
Yeah. You're not, you're
And look, that's
not picky. You just want to see some improvement.
And stop making bad coaching decisions.
Right.
Coach like you have a pair.
Exactly.
Quit being stupid. Damn.
Yes. All right, let's run through our picks really quickly. Keith?
all right. So Thursday game, of course, I picked the Packers there, and they didn't let me down there. We got the Sunday night game with the Falcons in Minnesota. I think Minnesota. I like what I've seen with Minnesota. Brian Flores and that defense. Again, Brian Flores is a good defensive minded coach. So I don't put it past him having his boys ready. They get come back and win a game against the Falcons. So
And Raheem Morris is overrated.
this should be an interesting game, but I got Minnesota pulling it out. The Buccaneers and the Texans, I just don't see the manpower in the Texans to beat the Buccaneers, even though the Texans defense is great. I like their defense, but offensively, they're a little questionable there. Chargers and the Raiders, I think the Chargers will win this game. Will it be a blowout? Maybe. But if Quentin Johnston continues to catch the way he is, the Chargers are going to be an issue.
Yep.
And the Chargers' next couple of games, they could be undefeated for a while.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chargers. Then we got
the Chargers.
Then we got of course, picking your own game. We got the Chiefs and the Eagles. I still think the Eagles will get it done. The Chiefs are lagging receivers or Rice, and then not 100% Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy, in my opinion, is not going to get it done. I think the Eagles win. And then the wild card game, we have the Bears and the Lions. I think the Lions will get their redemption. They'll get their win back since they couldn't beat Green Bay last week. But both coaches guaranteed wins, so this should be interesting. So let's see. It would be funny if the Bears won, and then we're gonna be looking like, okay, Lions, what's going on? Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's my picks. That's make sure you're locked in with Key.
All right. All right, we pull up juries here. Here we go.
I think it's fire. For my team game, I'm gonna be honest and not be delusional.
That's what we do here. Keep it honest.
I'm not a feather brain. I have my Rams defeating the Titans. I mean, I have the Rams defeating my Titans.
Mm-hmm.
I think this game is going to be closer than people think, though.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a defensive slugfest. And actually, I forgot. Tennessee is playing at home. They play a hell of a lot better at home. I'll come back to that. Because now I'm just thinking myself into changing my pick. Okay. But, I got the Vikings beating the Falcons. I have I don't like Raheem Morris. I think he's a fraud. I don't think he knows what he's doing. Um, he's not that good of a head coach. Period. Flores is gonna give Michael Penix some hell,
Mm-hmm.
and I still doubt Atlanta's ability to get to the passer.
Yeah.
I have the Chargers beating the Raiders. So this would be a Raiders game to win.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about that. I don't really know about that because I'm not a Geno person. I think Pete is a breath of fresh air, but he gets stale quick. I picked the Packers over the Commanders because I love the defense.
Mm-hmm.
I picked the Buccaneers over the Texans because the Texans' offensive line is terrible. Their offense, period, right now is terrible.
They missing Joe
That's my
Mixon.
bonus. Then that's my bonus. I have the 49ers over the Saints.
Taking Mac over Rattler.
I don't like Rattler.
Saints fans don't like Rattler, so it's okay.
Saints fans don't like the Saints. That's they don't
Right.
like them.
They made a diss track right after the draft.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not far off from going back to the paper bag over the head ain'ts.
The Aints.
Those are good times in New Orleans. All right, let's see. My picks I will go through quickly. Here we go. So I had the Packers Commanders as well. I actually thought Jacobs was gonna have a bigger game, but I just like the Packers offense and Micah made his impact. I got the Vikings or the Falcons, like you said. I'm gonna trust Flores to get to Penix more than the Falcons necessarily stopping the Vikings offense. Bucks over the Texans. You give me Baker Mayfield, Bucky Irving, Mike Evans. I think you got something there with the O line, and their defense is good as well. Texans are just lacking right now, and until they kind of show me that they can overcome that, I'm gonna find it hard to pick for them. Charge over the Raiders because I just like what I saw in Week 1. I think they'll continue that. I think the Raiders will make it interesting, but the Chargers are the better team. I took my Patriots over the Dolphins because just continue the misery down in South Beach. I think Vrabel looked at what they did against the Raiders, and he'll have them ready to play better against the Dolphins. And then, oddly enough, my bonus game, I also took the Niners over the Saints because I think I'm fascinated with Mac Jones, Spencer Rattler. People won't watch the game because it's the Saints and Mac Jones, but I think it could be sneaky entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
So those are my picks, which means we only have one thing left to do. Final burn. Oh, let's see. Record prediction for the Patriots. I was 9-8 before the season. I'm gonna stick with 9-8. If they lose to the Dolphins, ask me again next week. Because I might have to come down off of that. Yeah, so you guys know we end up with Final Burn where we kind of hold people's feet to the fire and let them know about themselves. Jory, what do you have for us? Final Burn.
Kind of went in on everybody I already wanted to go in on.
Okay.
But I don't like bad football. I don't like when you just get on the field and you look like you don't know what the hell is going on. You're la la land and your head is in the clouds and we're playing la dee 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 dee. I'm supposed to be blocking somebody and I'm twirling around in a circle. I'm lost. We are cloud. We're playing football. We are not at the Nutcracker. You don't need to be doing pirouettes. And then you're just gonna sit there. And then there was another play where the man just sat there. Dude came from the left, didn't set his feet or nothing. Like you saw that coming from a mile away, and you don't get set your feet, you don't get your hands up, you don't do jack squat. What do you do all week? Do you
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to the film? Are you sleep? Are you not? Are you daydreaming? Are we scrolling on TikTok? What are we doing in the film room to the to the to the tune of we get in the week one and we act like we don't know what we're doing?
Mm-hmm.
First of all, you had training camp, you had off season to learn your assignment. You don't know your assignment, it's week one. This is not an excuse. You should know it by now. You've been there for years, and you got people coming from the left side of the line to come blow you up, and you just and give a little half-hearted shove. Man, that pissed me off so bad, so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, am I seeing this? He's just penguin waddling in a circle, trying to find somebody to block, find something to do, and Lamar is scrambling for his life.
Mm-hmm.
Bro.
I'm not gonna lie, I saw a couple of plays and I was like, if they told me tomorrow that he was being investigated for like some gambling stuff, I'd been
I
like,
believe it.
yeah, I could see that. I mean, you did a terrible job hiding it, but I could see that.
Like, he's waddling around in a circle. He looks lost. Like, he looks like he's overwhelmed. You are
Mm-hmm.
not a rookie. This is not acceptable in the NFL. This is not acceptable in the XFL. This is not acceptable in the CFL. This is not acceptable in the NCAA. This is not acceptable in Germany. This is not acceptable in Antarctica. This isn't acceptable anywhere.
You know who I gave the benefit of doubt to for doing that? The little leaguers, the kids.
Oh yeah,
They
Yes,
yeah.
they can do that in a circle, and
you
we
can.
won't
If
crucify
you
them.
are 5 or 6 years old, you get me. You get the benefit of the doubt of trying to find who to block. You don't know no better. This dude is on the internet, not the internet, on the football field, legit twirling around in circles, lost as hell, clearly don't know his assignment, not ready for somebody to block you. The whistle is already been, the snap has already gone off. Why aren't you prepared to block? What is the issue?
Mm-hmm.
Basic stupid stuff like that just pisses me off. Like, what kind of
Lamar
mentality
gets
is
hurt.
that?
He gonna be to blame.
That is the weak point of that offensive line right there.
Yep.
And I blame the Ravens for not properly addressing the offensive line, because you can find somebody better than that at Walmart.
Roll back prices.
Go get the security card from Walmart. He can do better than that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, a great way to start off. Wait, so is that the only one you had?
Yes, because I already went off on Callahan.
Yeah.
I'm tired of Callahan for today.
Yes. All right, Key. You got anybody?
Yeah, I can throw. Unfortunately, my OC under the bus for a
He
little bit.
deserves it.
I don't know what the hell he was calling on Thursday. I know what he was doing. He was asking Madden. That's what he was doing. Because he clearly wasn't throwing. He clearly wasn't calling NFL type caliber plays. Because there's no way in hell AJ Brown has one catch, and it's in the fourth quarter. And then he threw his offensive line under the bus. Said they need to block better. Excuse me? Block who? I thought they did pretty good. Jalen Hurts got sacked one time. Okay, Saquon really couldn't go off the way they did because now teams are studying Saquon and they're going to stack the box. He did have 60 yards out the deal, so Dallas did their job. Any other time, They always do great every game. Jalen made smart decisions. They gave him time to throw, and when Jalen didn't see anything, what did he do? He took off with his feet. So what do you mean they need to block better? For what? What are
They
you
need to block
blocking?
him.
What are you blocking if the receivers are covered? What are we doing? What are we doing? So that's my only gripe is Mr. Kevin Petrulio. You need to stop asking Madden and actually call some dang on plays. Take a book out of Kellen Moore. Look what Kellen did.
Scheme these receivers open. We know they can get open by themselves, but in times like that where they are being locked down, you have to scheme them open.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess I'll round it up with I'm going Connecticut Sun because they've been locked in this battle of where they're going to be playing their future home, and they're actually like sending around a petition to keep the team in Connecticut because now the state is trying to keep them. And I'm like, I was one of those as a born and raised in Boston. When I heard that they could move to Boston, I was all for it. Now I'm like, I kind of see them staying in Connecticut, but they cannot stay Mohegan Sun. Like that's a joke. They don't have a train. They don't have anywhere to. Yeah, I'm from Boston. They have nowhere to train. I know Alyssa Thomas talked about there'd be times where they even tried to practice and they'd have to move out for like birthday parties and stuff. That's embarrassing. Yes.
Oh no.
But the minute she said that, I was like, yeah, I'm done with this whole Uncasville, Connecticut situation. Now, Mohegan Sun, the tribe, they did obviously purchase them when they left Orlando and they gave them a place. But now I'm like, they stay in Connecticut. They have to go to Hartford. Hartford is a city that used to have the Whalers, so they know how to deal with pro teams. And I think they've been itching to get back into the pro scene. They have an arena that the Sun can use. And you move them to Hartford, you bring them closer to the UConn crowd, which can only help. So I'm at the point, WNBA, let them stay, let them play in Hartford, and then you can continue with your plan. I think it's 2030 when they do their next round of expansion. Use Boston then. I'm all for that. I actually signed the petition to keep them in Connecticut. It was like some online one. I was like, yeah, they've done a lot in that community. They deserve to be in Connecticut. So that's what I'm going to say. WNBA, do what's right. Get them over to Hartford. Yeah. That's Final Burn, which brings us to the end of the show. And we appreciate all of you for tuning in. Sign said, love Hartford. Yeah, it's a great area. It's a lot bigger than Uncasville. I doubt anybody knows where Uncasville is on a map. I don't even know.
What the hell is an Uncasville?
I've never even heard of that.
The only thing in Uncasville is Mohegan Sun Casino. That's literally all they're known for. So, yeah, they need to get out of that area. But now that we're at the end of the show, anything, Jory, anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No. I think, no. Just stay tuned on the channel because I'm not going to keep advertising stuff and then forget to keep putting it out. So there's that.
I mean, we've all been there. Key, anything you want to add?
No, it was good. It was good. Like I said, they got the great minds together, and this was fun.
Yeah, I agree. And hopefully you all in the chat loved it. So this is gonna be the okay.
There you go, Anthony. At the end of the show,
wait for the last second of the show to try to cover with that.
I'm gonna go there with my quarterback. He's not overrated. You're overrated. What happened with Jaden Daniels? What did Michael Parsons make him look like? We're not gonna start that this evening. It's 11 o'clock. I'm ready to fire off on somebody. So let's not do that.
I mean,
overrated. It's been one game.
Look, I don't think anybody would sit here and say Cam Ward's overrated. I'm a big fan of Cam, so yeah. But yeah, appreciate all of you. I mean, the Broncos have a good defense.
He's a rookie.
Sijan gets it. Expecting someone to chime in. But yeah. Hopefully you enjoy the new format. Key will obviously be a staple of the show going forward now. So you can expect to see the three of us every week. And you got to make sure you come back next week where we will talk more NFL, maybe some breaks on the Clippers story. We'll talk about that. Also, WNBA playoffs next week, so that's going to be interesting to watch. You know, the Aces are on a hot run. Is it just their year? We'll find out. But make sure you like, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Appreciate all of you. Make sure you come back next week. We're out of here. See you all later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye.